James Turner for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing, and y'all know the rest. Now, this is my official Nick Ball versus Ronny Rios post-fight review, and your result of the fight is a Nick Ball 10th round stoppage. You know, just honestly, I was a little let down by Ronny Rios. Like I didn't think Ronny was gonna win the fight, but I thought Ronny punched hard enough and was crafty enough, experienced enough, I should say, to take Nick Ball the full distance. He didn't do that. And honestly, Nick Ball, one thing about him, you never have to predict how he's gonna fight. You know how he's gonna fight. The question's always gonna be with Nick Ball, like, are you gonna be prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually enough to deal with what he's bringing to the table? And the answer from Ronny Rios is a resounding no. He couldn't handle it, right? It was a fight where, you know, I thought Ronny Rios did some good work when he let his hands go. He clearly was able to get the attention of Nick Ball anytime he hit him. He had Nick Ball bloodied up, and it's looking like these days it doesn't take much to bloody up Nick Ball, because Raymond Ford had Nick Ball bleeding. Ronny Rios had Nick Ball bleeding. Nick Ball is a TV fighter. He's a made-for-TV fighter. You know, he's gonna be vulnerable enough to lose, but you know, obviously he's good enough to be world champion. So that's always a good combination. But yeah, I thought the commentary was very one-sided. I thought like the British commentators were they had the Nick Ball pom-poms up too much. They wouldn't acknowledge any of the good work that Ronny Rios was doing, because he was doing some good work going to the body, and when he did score to Nick Ball's head, you know, it had a real effect on him. So Nick Ball, I thought he did a good job of getting inside the pocket, pushing Ronny Rios back, and posing his will in the fight, and scoring an early knockdown. The second knockdown that he scored, I thought, was more of a push, and it was a bad call by the referee. But the third knockdown wound up being a knockdown in which, you know, he had Ronny Rios pinned to the ropes, and he just was pouring it on, punch after punch after punch after punch, until Ronny Rios fell completely out the ring. And, you know, to Ronny Rios' credit, third knockdown of the fight, out the ring pretty much, he still got up. So he showed a warrior's heart in defeat. But in the end, Nick Ball was too strong, too skilled for him. Had too much volume for Ronny Rios, and Ronny Rios, once again, you know, in his career, has been stopped in a big fight. So, you know, I think at 34 years old, like, it's not my position to tell a fighter what they should or shouldn't do, but you'd have to think that the end is coming near for Ronny Rios. So Nick Ball successfully defends his title for the first time, and he will be going into 2025 as a world champion, so congratulations to him. Espinoza is the only champion at featherweight that we don't know yet if he's going to go into 2025 as champion yet, because he's going to fight Robeisy Ramirez in a rematch in December. So we'll see how he does. But as far as Nick Ball and the rest of the champions and like where he stands and all this, like right now, I think 2025 is going to be a year where all these champions right now are on the same playing field. Like, Rafael Espinoza only has one title defense. Nick Ball now only has one title defense. Ray Vargas only has one title defense, and it was a draw to Nick Ball. The only guy who doesn't have a title defense yet is Angelo Leo, and that's because he just won the title in August. So his first defense will be in early 2025. We'll see how he gets on. But yeah, all these guys are going to have a chance to separate themselves next year, whether they fight each other or whether they're fighting other people. You know, we're going to see who can hold on the belt, who has the longevity to stay in the weight class. But yeah, Nick Ball, like, as far as his performance, there's not really much I could say. It was the prototypical Nick Ball fight. You know that when he crowds you, he's gonna double up and triple up on hooks and uppercuts. He's gonna angle off to the side at times, and, you know, just really get off. And I thought Ronny Rios, he did a good job of making Nick Ball feel comfortable in this fight, because Nick Ball was able to get off way too many shots, and I thought that Ronny Rios would have a big problem in this fight because of the fact that he does not throw enough punches. I went back, I watched Ronny Rios versus Ray Vargas, I watched Ronny Rios versus Mirja Akhmadaliev, and the common theme in those fights was that Ronny Rios just he's not a high volume puncher. I thought experience-wise, I thought power-wise, he was going to do enough to go the full distance. That didn't happen. So Nick Ball, in this scenario, actually slightly exceeded my expectations of the fight. He didn't exceed my expectations of like the style he fought, but he exceeded my expectations in the outcome of the fight because Nick Ball has never stopped a fighter of the caliber of Ronny Rios. You know, Ronny Rios is not like a A+ fighter, but you know, Ronny Rios is a world title challenger. He's a guy that's been a contender in multiple weight classes. He's hands down at this moment in time, he's the best fighter Nick Ball has ever stopped, because the best fighter Nick Ball ever stopped before this was Isaac Lowe. You know, everyone else he's fought, like Ray Vargas, Raymond Ford, at the world level, he had good, consistent, steady performances against them, but he didn't get those guys out of there. He got this guy out of there, and so, you know, good for him. You know, they say when you become a champion that you become 30% better, or you should become 30% better, and you know, hopefully for Nick Ball, that winds being the case. As far as a fight I like to see him in, I mean, I would love to see Nick Ball fight Rafael Espinoza, just because I think it'd be hilarious to see the shortest guy in the division who's 5'2" fight the tallest guy in the division who's 6'1". I think that would make for a really entertaining fight. But just him against any of the champions. I mean, obviously Ray Vargas, him was interesting because they already fought, and a lot of people thought Nick Ball beat Ray Vargas. And then Angelo Leo. You know, Angelo Leo to me is the most well-rounded featherweight in the division, and I think that he would give Nick Ball some serious problems if they want to do a unification fight. I saw a whole lot of stuff with Nick Ball where he needs to, I can't even say clean it up because he fights how he fights, but he's gonna realize every mistake that he makes if he fights Angelo Leo. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, that's all I can say about the fight. Like, there's not a whole lot to say. Ronny Rios was game. He was dangerous when he let his hands go, but he just didn't let his hands go enough. And Nick Ball stayed very busy and just eventually wore him out until Ronny Rios fell out the ring. So that's what it is. You know, good way to cap off a really just banner year for Nick Ball in 2024 that saw him, you know, fight the likes of Ray Vargas and Raymond Ford, and now Ronny Rios. You know, probably one of the strongest campaigns for featherweight in boxing this year. So congratulations to him on a good 2024. And yeah, what do you guys think? Who do you want to see Nick Ball fight next? What fight gets you guys the most fired up when we speak about Nick Ball? Is it Espinoza? Is it a Ray Vargas rematch? Is it Angelo Leo in a unification fight? Or is it somebody else? The last thing I'll touch on, because I almost forgot, Stephen Fulton is the #1 contender for Nick Ball, so there is a possibility that fight winds up being next. I like that fight a lot for Stephen Fulton. I think Stephen Fulton is a lot smarter than the guys Nick Ball's been fighting, and he will be able to make the adjustments and probably outpoint him, but we'll see. You know, Stephen Fulton, the last couple of fights he's had against not just Inoue, but, you know, Figueroa, he hasn't really shown the greatest of durability. Even in the Castro fight, didn't show the greatest of durability. So he has some questions to answer himself, but I still believe in his IQ and his boxing ability to be just enough to beat Nick Ball. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canastota, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.